So I thought the first thing we'd speak about is obviously FaZe goes into Mana 2 as the champs of Major 2 and I mean Mana Major 1 and Mana 1. So they were back-to-back champs with those ones. And then they come into Mana 2 and they get taken out by Surge, which was not expected at all in top six. They didn't even make it into the top four of Mana 2. And so I just wanted to think like what are your takeaways from that? How are you guys feeling about that? Is it that serious? Is FaZe falling off? I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I think FaZe's momentum has been pretty surprising so far this season, with starting really slow, then picking it up, and now seeming to slump back down. But like I said about Surge in general, they seem to have FaZe's number, and I don't know if it's just their play style or uh, them just getting better at the game, and FaZe was not really expecting it. But again, being online definitely helped them, and I think if they matched up against FaZe on LAN, it would have maybe been a different story. So yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Garen?
It was definitely a really close series. I think Surge just big, or Surge won in map five in S&D. So if I'm FaZe, I'm not too stressed. I still have Simp, and Simp probably the best player in the league. It's like
Oh, definitely.
Cilium, and the BZ. They're doing their thing. I'm just a bit worried about Jaza. I don't think he's been the most consistent FaZe member like this game, and I think he's definitely the difference maker. If he can find form and keep like dominating,
And keep
then FaZe should
elevating
be
them. Yeah,
fine.
for sure.
Hmm.
100%. I mean, I I don't think it means that much in the grand scheme of things right now. Like you said, it's Mana 2, it's an online tournament. They're the major defending champs, so it's not like panic stations or anything. The only thing for me is after their major one win, everyone was talking about, well, FaZe, they're so, besides Thieves, there's no team that can keep up with them. They're so dominant. They were going on that win streak where I think they'd won 13 games in a row or whatever. And everyone was like, "Oh, how long is the streak going to go up for?" We're looking at their new schedule. They're just going to run over teams and they're going to break their own streak record and all that stuff. And then the first game back from Major one going into qualifiers was they lost to Surge, and so like they'd been so built up, and suddenly like they just drop. And I know it's easy to lose a game or whatever it happens, but I feel like sometimes people are so quick on the recency bias to like build FaZe up to this massive thing, like oh they're unstoppable. There's no one that can really touch them, and then the first game back they lose, and then now they lose again in Mana 2 to Surge, which yeah, I wouldn't panic about that either. It's an online game. Maybe Surge just does play them well, but it's sort of like FaZe can reach those peaks. But then when and everyone's like, oh yeah, yeah, if they keep it there, they can be the best. No one can touch them at the moment. But as soon as they fall, like other teams are right there with them and can pick up from where they left off. So I think that's the only thing that I think about when it comes to FaZe is just having that consistency and not just getting to that peak and then falling down again. Because I mean, I remember also in Modern Warfare 3 when they won Major 2. I remember everyone speaking about, oh, this is the most final form of FaZe that's ever been realized. They've elevated to a new level. They're so good. They're untouchable. The addition of Draza has just made the team unstoppable with Celium and the Tiny Terrors. And then what did they go on to do? They lost. They got top three, getting taken out by Optic in Major 3. They lost to New York in Major 4, coming second, and then they had their worst champs placing that they've ever had in top six. So I just think sometimes everyone is so quick to jump on, oh, FaZe is unstoppable. They're so best in the game, and their peak is high, but then they just fall off and they don't always get back to where they were. So I think that's just something that FaZe needs to be aware of. And also, I don't want to hear too much recency bias about FaZe is unstoppable when it's just one tournament, you know. But yeah, that's just my thinking.
I just think that's the problem with the COD community. It's like a player or team will do really well for one major, then they'll fall off the next major, and then people are like, no way, no way. So it's like,
Who could have
and you're
seen
gonna
this
see it
coming?
now with yeah, and it's like
Yeah,
you're gonna see it now with Kenny. Like Kenny's playing pretty badly, not pretty. He's horrendous at the moment.
which
But
hurts.
next major when
We
he's
love Kenny.
yeah, I love Kenny. He's my boy. He's my boy. But next major, when Kenny starts shooting, people are going to be like, best player in the league, best player in the league. He's going to average a 1.5. And then
Yeah, and
everyone's
people,
going to
it's
be
not like
like,
people weren't scapegoating him like 2 seconds ago. Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah.
I get it. But I mean, it's not just the COD community. I think that's sports and esports in general, but it makes me mad.
Mm,
But yeah,
yes.
I don't know. Does anybody have any other thoughts on FaZe? And where they're at the moment?
Um,
We move on.
I think people really love to hate Optic right now, seeing them not do well. But for FaZe, they are always quick to defend FaZe. When FaZe, especially in recent years, has not really had a great track record with performing in the moments like grand finals when they need
Mm,
to, and they can
Yeah, they
suffer
can
some
get there, but then they
quite
can't come over the last little bit. Yeah.
yeah, quite serious losses. And I think because of how great they are during the like qualifiers and the regular season, it's easy to uh like cut them a bit of slack and not be on their case too much. And the same with Kenny. I think even though he's not doing that well, people aren't really blaming him. But if it was another player um, that people didn't like so much, they would not like if it was Hook really sucking right now, people would absolutely clown him for being the worst player and want him subbed and benched and stuff. So yeah, it's all
uh,
relative, I think.
mm.
For
I
sure.
might just be chronically online, but I've heard people saying Kenny's the main problem. They need to ship him. They need to trade for him. They need to bring Hook back. But then it's like,
But they still love him, though.
yeah, I guess.
I don't
But
know.
then when you look at the, it's like Kenny's doing the worst, but it's just the whole Optic roster. All of them are just playing so badly at the moment. But it's like when drops a point 0.9 and Kenny drops a point 0.7, nobody's looking at like Dashy. Dashy didn't play that well. It's Ken drops a point 0.7. He's the worst player.